Hello, it's a great honor to be speaking here today at the 4 Years From Now conference, this startup ecosystem that aims to change, or actually we could say to improve the lives of many through technology and innovation. On behalf of the Catalan government, therefore a warm welcome to Barcelona and to Catalonia. Catalonia is a welcoming and entrepreneurial nation. It has always been a land of passage and a place of encounter of many different people from around the world who have helped, and as you are today helping to enrich our social and economic fabric. We believe that digitalization will be, in fact, a key driver of economic growth and development in the years to come. As we economists like to call it, it has the potential to bring high efficiency gains in many areas. One of these areas is the financial sector, a sector that can highly benefit from new technologies. Nowadays, we can easily check online our financial accounts, we can transfer money to friends with an app in less than 5 seconds, or raise funds for a project through a crowdfunding platform. And we can do all these things with our mobiles. Phones, therefore, play a crucial role in the success of fintech, and this is why we believe it's so appropriate to have this session today in the context of the Mobile World Congress.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity of explaining or giving you a little sneak peek of how is the tech ecosystem in Barcelona. I would like you to have this picture of what happened in Barcelona in the recent years. First of all, I would like to this thing work out. Sorry. Okay. So, Barcelona Tech City is a non-profit association created in 2013 by the top entrepreneurs in Barcelona. So it's a private one with two main ideas. On the one hand, consolidating the tech ecosystem, and on the other hand, just helping entrepreneurs. That's what we were created, that's what we got recently. So at this moment, we represented more than 800 companies. We have a nice headquarters just at the harbor of Barcelona, in which the last year passed through almost 5,000 people, so it's not the Museum of FC Barcelona, but it's pretty crowded. And the most important thing, we're pretty focused in these three things. So on the one hand, talent. The talent here is paramount. This is what makes us different. I think this is that it's gonna make us different in the future. It's gonna make us more competitive in the future. We're really focused on helping entrepreneurs. We want our people, and not only our people, but also the international ones willing to get based in Barcelona. We want them to feel at home. We want them to become entrepreneurs in Barcelona. So that's what we're trying to do. We try to help in each and any way we could, or we can. And finally, we want to attract talent, international investors, and companies to Barcelona. So as the secretary just pointed out recently, last year we attracted more than 130 companies. So the last startup ecosystem review developed by the Mobile World Capital Foundation just points out that Barcelona gathers almost $900 million companies out of the 1.3 billion euros raised in the latest year. Barcelona is the third city chosen by founders to set a new venture, the European ones. It's the fifth city in capital invested all over Europe in 2018. The local ecosystem is gathering more than 1,200 companies.
Thank you very much. So I think Mikel gave a wonderful explanation about Barcelona. I was invited to talk here about future of finance, future of fintech. And just very briefly, as there was already a presentation about N26, I won't spend too much on N26, I will just reflect on our learnings. And I wanted to share with you that N26 is a pan-European bank that is expanding globally right now. So it's a global mobile bank. It's a new generation bank that is right now working with the same product all across Europe in 24 countries. So it's different to all the banks that we know, right? And what we're doing is we have a European license, and we're based in Berlin, but we're also expanding here to Barcelona, and we are hiring very fast in Barcelona, our tech hub that we're growing here for the last 5 months, and we plan for over this year actually to grow up to 200 or 250 people. And that's the one thing that I really want to push, and I really want you to keep in your head, that is that it has not been the traditional players, the ones that have made any of these sectors being disrupted, right? It's been somebody new coming into the scene, really making the difference, right? We've seen music, Spotify, we've seen transport, it's been Uber, we've seen in entertainment, it could be Netflix, and in accommodation, Airbnb, right? Where we are right now, we'll see that in payments, in lending, in personal finance, in deposits, in wealth management, and in insurance, there's already very big, successful startups that have grown internationally, that have grown very, very strong, and that are already succeeded, right? And that are already a threat to the bank. And there's many ways to understand trust and to see how you can actually build a trusted company. There is, first of all, it's a process that needs time, right? It's a process that it doesn't happen from one day to the other, right? You need to actually acknowledge or recognize the brand as something that you've heard several times. This is not happens when there's one recommendation coming through. But the very interesting thing is that there's a formula, or at least in N26, we'll look at it through a formula. It's not our formula. It's a well-known formula. You can Google it, and it's based on these 4 factors. When you look at trustworthiness, we're looking at credibility, we're looking at reliability and intimacy.
I'm very delighted to be here today. I don't know how far you're familiar with Ripple, because I'm going to talk about something abstract, and I'm trying to make it somehow more understandable in terms of the vision that we are trying to achieve. So our company is based in San Francisco. I joined personally 2 years ago. I'm coming from the old world of SWIFT, where the international payment is happening today. And I was very much interested in the vision that Ripple was cultivating at that time, which is the Internet of Value. We will come back to that later. We have been now expanding globally, so our European office is in London. I hope that you will have the opportunity to join us one day, to visit us. This is, well, it's not a safe speech, honestly, because I think when you're talking about the new technology, especially blockchain, that has been in experimentation since few years. But going live with the new technology is a very challenging, I should say, context. And personally, I can tell you it's the most difficult job that I have ever had in my life. Clearly, these names are not around experimentation anymore. We are talking about the banks and financial institutions, payment service providers, the new entrants, that are investing in this technology and have signed production volumes. So, why payments? Because probably you have heard about many different experimentation around payments, blockchain. You have trade finance, derivatives, lending, you can name it. When you look at the common denominator of all these businesses, it's always about money at the end. There is a transfer of funds. And most of the time, in the global economy, you are talking about international and cross-border funds. Therefore, I think the real pain point that blockchain can really address today and make this world more democratized is around payments. And that's why our company, Ripple, has been concentrating more on this space. When you are talking about payments, you are a series of features that you need. You need the predictability of the settlement, you need to high throughput, and you need the scalability. If you look at today, and I think real time is becoming a reality, we have it in Europe, we have it in many other markets. So you can send money within a local context to another person in a matter of seconds. But this matter doesn't exist today in cross-border. Okay? Even if they tell you that it exists, it doesn't, because they take risks each time. So what does it mean today? That when you look at the global e-commerce, we are talking of no longer high-value payments, that it is very important in the treasury and trades. We are talking about multiples of low-value payment or frequency.
Again, we're very excited to be here this afternoon to discuss about fintech, about Barcelona, and we'll spend now a little bit of time also discussing about technologies. We have in our fantastic panel, right, this afternoon, Francisco Sierra, which we already know, Marijan, you already know, and I would like to introduce Eric Brieva. Maybe you can introduce yourself in a couple of minutes.
Nice to meet you. It's a pleasure to be here and share this panel with those fantastic persons in the fintech industry. I'm the CEO of Strands. Strands is a company that we help banks to remain competitive in this fintech world. So we use artificial intelligence to help them engage their customer, understand them well, alert them better, and amaze them.
Yeah, we have also Philip Jellis from Cantox. So,
hello. So to make a long story short, Cantox, we're a fintech company too. We develop solutions for businesses to manage foreign currencies, foreign exchange. And we are basically split between London and Barcelona, with most people in Barcelona, so we feel more Catalans than British.
okay. So, so we've had so far fantastic speakers that all have introduced Barcelona as yeah?
You forgot.
Yeah, sorry. Montserrat, I'm sorry.
No problem. We knew each other so much, no?
Yeah.
Good evening, good afternoon, evening, I don't know, because with this mobile we change hours. So this is Montserrat Guardia. I'm the general manager right now of Alastria. And Alastria is a blockchain consortium. We don't say blockchain anymore, we say decentralized network. And we will talk about that. It's a platform that can help to disrupt the finance segment in fintech or banking. So thank you for inviting me, and very nice to be with all of you.
How do we see, or how do you guys see the future of finance that has been redefined by this new technology, but new customer focus? How do you guys see the future of finance in 4 years from now? I know it's hard, but we would like to know your views about it.
Well, from our perspective, we hope that the Internet of Value is becoming a reality. And I think we are striving to get to this result. There will be more consolidation. I think that would be probably more beneficial for some markets. Again, I'm talking about the blockchain and how this will evolve. I think it's, I will do the analogy with the internet. I think when internet started, it was so many different use cases and everybody wanted to resolve all the problem of the world. I think blockchain is at the same stage. Blockchain is not only there for resolving all the problem of the world. I think there will be some use cases that will prevail than the others, and I think that will be the choice of the users actually. So, but yeah, I think it's going to be a very exciting moment, at least for the payments space. We see all these new entrants, the business models that are changing. We see the pressure on the banks that they are moving themselves as well. And I think it's going to be a very exciting moment.
I will say it will be a huge change, and it will be related to something that is already happening. I think it's already happening. We are seeing right now the future of finance. I always say that the future is there. We only need to discover. So saying what Marjan was saying, what is the future of finance is how much you can partner with others.
My view is that 4 years from now, all this disruption that we are seeing from financial technologies will be already consolidated, and that fintech will be mainstream, so it will be in everyone's life. And the aim behind fintech or any other of these technologies like blockchain or artificial intelligence is to make people's life easier. So in the end, 4 years from now, the main beneficiaries of all this will be the customers.
but there are many things to do. One thing that I think is really happening now is most banks have really understood they cannot really transform themselves from inside. They need collaboration. They need fintech company to help them and support them. I'm quite convinced that soon we will stop speaking about finance and banks and fintechs. It will be a single thing. It will be financial technology independently of really who are the players, small, medium, or very large.
What are your views? What are the best or some good example that you've recently seen on big data, artificial intelligence, right?
With artificial intelligence, what we are providing to financial institutions is to understand much better their customers in a personalized way, one by one. Of course, saving the confidentiality and the protection of the personal information of their customers, but what we are also actually seeing is that they are enabled to understand every single person very well.
I will say the important thing on what we call artificial intelligence is just to define artificial and intelligence. I think intelligence is about knowledge, and before knowledge you have information and data. So as much as we can analyze what is the data and what is the purpose of data to become information and then knowledge, we can say that the software can do intelligent decisions or intelligent automatization.
So I think Eric mentioned it very, very well. It's not just about using data to learn and adapt. With artificial intelligence, you can also personalize. But going further, it's not only really personalized to what the customer needs, it's also to anticipate what the customer is going to need, even if they don't even know about it yet.
Then obviously the other technology that we've discussed here is distributed ledger technologies or blockchain. So I would like to know your views about. We've seen examples of how blockchain and DLT have been used, and also your views about the cryptocurrencies as a investment element.
Digital assets or a token is store of value. And when we look at the security world today, the securities, the capital markets, you have exactly the same pattern. You have multiple intermediaries, you have lots of cost involved, and honestly, the system is not really designed as it's such. So we see a company like, for instance, Securitize. So they are, their business model is helping companies to tokenize shares. This is not around really speculating. It's really creating a framework around how a company can create and tokenize the share. First of all, how they can create the share, the token, based on the value of the shares.
Yes, a couple of short questions for the panel. First one is, well, at the end, the business of the banks is on the credit side, on the financing side. Okay, I know what you can do, what the fintechs can do in disintermediation, but is there any place in the sun for fintechs in credit? Both for banks and for fintechs, you are playing in a field where the asymmetry of information is still very high. What is your role in improving financial literacy, financial education of the customers? I mean, what are your role here? Thanks.
On the credit side, I think it will much more. I mean, we will see a huge evolution during the next years on really polishing those. I would say. How do you call it? This asymmetry.
What we will name lending or credit in fintech is already one of the 2 or 3 main segments. So there are already billions of dollars every year that are basically deployed as credit by fintech. Then what will be challenging, at least in the next 5 or 10 years, is to deploy massive credit to massive companies. So if General Electric needs a 10 billion credit, it will not be a fintech company that will write the 10 billion check. This for sure. But if you want to deploy credit, microcredit or small credit at scale in almost real time, don't expect bank to be able to do this well. And maybe to come back to your question, the main opportunity in retail lending is mortgages. And giving mortgages honestly, is a dumb process. So giving mortgages at scale by fintech, believe me, in 4 years from now, it will have happened.
We are obviously in a massive startup event, so obviously I would like to, guys, give a little bit of advice to these entrepreneurs that are here to start new projects or working or scaling up new projects. So I would like to know your views on how this needs to be done in a fintech context. So how you see a fintech being successful. So what would you advise to these new groups of people, right?
I think focus is the most important one. Going wide and doing everything is very difficult.
Focus on what you're doing, obviously, as Majan was explaining very well, but also be flexible and adapt where necessary and learn from what your customers are saying or are needing, basically.
I really think that it's critical to get educated on what you try to solve. So if you don't have a clear framework of what is the problem you are solving, your solution could be excellent, but it's really be careful if you are trying to solve something in the financial world. You need to understand, you need to learn, you need to understand finance quite well, and you need to understand tech quite well.
This good advice. Maybe let's discuss now, obviously, the events called Barcelona Fintech City. This question is addressed, obviously, the ones that choose in Barcelona. I would like to know your views on why you decided to have your operations here. What make Barcelona an interesting choice?
But we could grow even faster if we had multiple locations. So we realized that Berlin does not attract all talent in the world. So for certain profiles, they would prefer to live in a different city, such as Barcelona, and a Mediterranean city that definitely is offering a great lifestyle. And also, obviously, it's a very good talent pool and a very good, I would say, entrepreneurial mindset. Right now, we're in this beginning of the wave. We'll see this. I mean, we've seen it in London, we've seen it in Berlin. Maybe this is in Barcelona, maybe it's 5 years or 4 years, a bit behind. But we will see that this city is going to boom and it's going to do amazingly well on the fintech and the overall tech sector.
Great ecosystem, a great lifestyle. I would say more and more talent, more and more companies, more and more investments. So in the end, I think it's a very good equation, a very good balance. And 6 years ago, it was maybe not the case. It was much smaller. But now I would say it's quite easy for us to attract talent. We have 20 nationalities. We bring many people from abroad. Getting visas for people who are not from Europe is reasonably fine.
I think in this panel is a good representation of what could be the Barcelona FinTech Hub.
I think all of us, we need to start to think about that. More and more, the network is there. More and more, we can operate all around the world. And to be an open city, where we tell everyone to come and also tell everyone to go further to other cities is good. So decentralization in terms of technology is what we have. And moreover, in Alastria, we have a lot of partners in Catalonia, but we have 13 ecosystems connected, and this is about bridging. So this is very important, and this is a city of bridge. This is a city open to the sea, and we love everything here that makes things easier. So that's what we want to add to that.
One of the main problems of finance consumers right now is this asymmetry of information between finance corporations or finance companies and consumers. And the answer I heard is that more data will help consumers, will help this asymmetry. That's what I heard. And in my opinion, this is not per se something automatic, that more data will benefit that this will solve this problem, will help solve this problem. So I would like to put on the table again this question.
We try, and I think we do it reasonably well, to bring transparency to clients, to explain better what we sell, and to build simple products. But my view is that people don't get educated. People educate themselves if they have a willingness to learn.
Okay, so we have to stop the panel. We thank you very much for your very interesting insights and time. So let's
Okay. Okay, on behalf of the organizers, thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much to the panelists. Just a couple of minutes for each. Let me say a couple of things. First is that some people in the panel has said that the banks are going in the next 4 years to get integrated in the fintech fintech industry. I think we are an example of that. We are a banking and financial knowledge entity owned or controlled by the banks. And really the way we are seeing our future is clearly looking at the fintechs, looking at the digitalization of finance in a very different framework than the one we have today. Second, this thing about fintech is so interesting that all people like me are really tempting to have a deal with the devil, no? And then at least not to get younger, but to stay as we are, to have several years to see what is really going to happen. Just final thing is that we organize this event trying to put together the experience of relevant fintechs with the experience of the host and promoters of the aim that Barcelona should and make growth as a fintech hub. Growth, and I will say also an important thing is to retain, because there are a lot of competition down there. One of the main points is skills, and I think Natalia, one of the first things he did is human resources are very important to attract talent in a city, in a sector like this. We as Financial Studies Institute, we are really working hard in trying to organize what is needed to have every time more and more people getting the skills which are needed, which are of course soft skills, which are tech skills, and which are of course finance and banking skills. And this is, from our side, the important thing. Thanks again to all the participants in the events, and Luis will close it, I think.
Well, thank you, Josep. Just to finish this event, well, first of all, I would like to say that it's been a pleasure to co-organize this event with EF. Our goal was to have this rich discussion about different fintech topics. We believe this is the kind of debate we have to have in Barcelona. And well, as you said, as you watched in the final part of our panel, one of our main interests was to vindicate Barcelona and Catalonia as one of the best places in the world to create and grow fintech companies. As it is already for hundreds of tech companies already in Barcelona. We believe that this maybe was something that seemed difficult to be 4 years ago when nobody talked about fintech. But nowadays we believe that we have to take advantage of this wave of innovation and technology that has come to Barcelona, and we have to take advantage of it. We are positioning Catalonia as one of the best hubs for innovation and technology, and so we are going to do the same in the financial services. In a nutshell, our vision is that 4 years from now, Barcelona should be one of the most attractive fintech cities in the world, and that 4 years from now, Catalonia should be one of the leading fintech nations. Again, this seems to be difficult or even unrealistic, but we believe we no longer live in a world of paradigms. We live in a world of paradox, a world of change. And what can be done and what cannot be done changes very rapidly. And with this vision, we believe that we can make this change in Catalonia, and that only those companies, those cities, and those countries that embrace this reality will succeed. With this, we like to close this event and then invite you all to join us in the coffee break we'll have right next door and get to know each other better. Thank you all.